What is going on, Breakdown family? It's your boy Oliver, and welcome back to Episode Breakdown. And today, wow, just wow. We are diving into From Season 4, Episode 5, titled What a Long, Strange Trip It's Been. And trust me, that name is perfect. Because this episode, it does two things at once. It gives us maybe the most terrifying physical attack we've ever seen, and it finally hands Jade the keys to the entire mythology. But here's the thing, those keys, they open a door that might lead to hope or to an even darker cage. Spoilers are everywhere from this point on. You've been warned. Before we get started, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our breakdowns. Let's get into it. Alright, we pick up exactly where the last cliffhanger left off. At the settlement, that's Donna, Ellis, Patty, a very paranoid Roger, the Matthews family, and Tabitha. They've just pulled something out of the water. And at first, you think it's a pile of corpses. But no, it's worse in a totally different way. It's 3 life-size dolls, rag-stuffed. Unsettling doesn't even cover it. Donna calls them scarecrows, and honestly, that's the most accurate description. The group immediately realizes these things feel placed, like someone put them in the water to trap something, so they push them back out. Smart move? We're about to find out. But here's the first major clue. Tabitha is terrified. She knows these dolls, and she doesn't know why.
Something about those dolls, it was familiar. I don't know. I think I've seen them before.
Is there something in that lake that we need to be afraid of?
Night falls. The group takes shelter in a nearby cabin, and then they hear singing, distant, creepy. And that's when Tabitha's memory unlocks. Those dolls were hers when she was a child. She used to play with them, but an angry man took them away, claimed the dolls gave him nightmares, and Tabitha remembers something chilling. When that man died, his nightmares came out of the lake. So the lake isn't just water, it's a repository for fear, for nightmares. And now those nightmares are walking. Before the group can even reinforce the perimeter, the dolls animate. And this is where the episode changes everything we thought we knew. The scarecrows bypass the talismans. Completely. No protection. Nothing. The stones are useless against these things. That's a terrifying new threat, because up until now, the talismans were the only safety net. Now that net is gone, and the attack is brutal. I mean, From has never been gentle, but this is next level. A colossal scarecrow, bigger than the others, bursts through the cabin wall. It goes straight for Roger, and what happens next is going to stick with me. The thing shoves its hand into Roger's mouth and rips his lower jaw off. On screen, no cutaway, no mercy. While that's happening, another scarecrow attacks Patty, shoves her face into the remains of the campfire. She's burning alive. And the third nearly kills Donna. Chaos. Absolute chaos. But in the middle of all this, Ellis manages to pull Patty from the flames, saves her life. And Tabitha taps into something she shouldn't logically know. From a past life, she doesn't say it, but we know it. She grabs a harpoon-like bone totem and incapacitates one of the scarecrows. That's the turning point. The remaining creatures retreat back into the darkness. So here's what we learn. These scarecrows can be stopped, but not with bullets or talismans. It requires knowledge from another lifetime, and that's a huge clue.
What just happened? I remembered how to hurt them.
While the lake group is fighting for their lives, Jade is on his own journey. And honestly, his might be more important. He's staring out a window when he sees the motel sign change. It now clear as day says, "This way." He calls Boyd, tells him the mushrooms have kicked in, and Boyd, being the anchor he is, tries to pull him back, but Jade insists on proceeding. So they establish a safe word, Capricorn. If Jade says it, Boyd brings him back. Jade's hallucination takes him to the woods when he was 12 years old. We see the day his grandmother died. She asked him to play his violin, and he played for hours after she passed, because it was easier to facing her death. That's heartbreaking, right? But it's also setting up the emotional core of why Jade keeps coming back to this town. Then the vision shifts. The mutilated man from the settlement, the one nailed to a tree, appears. He's holding a skull full of blood, and he repeats the word Ankhui. We've heard that word before, the children say it, but now we learn what it means. It means remember. Jade hesitates, wouldn't you? But he drinks the blood, and inside that blood are beetles, crawling. He drinks them. Then he says, "Now you will see the things you haven't seen." This is not a guy having a bad trip. This is a guy unlocking generational memory. Young Jade, a vision version, leads him to Colony House, and inside he finds the dead violinist from his previous visions. All of them, laying there. And Jade finally understands. These aren't random musicians. These are versions of himself from his past lives in Frumville. Every single Jade died here. And here's the kicker, none of them were killed by the night monsters. Every single Jade was murdered by the townspeople. Young Jade explains the pattern. Listen closely, because this is the episode's thesis. They, the townspeople, learned that the sacrificed children were calling for Jade and Tabitha. Then they hate them. Then they kill them. Every cycle, over and over. That means Jade and Tabitha are reincarnated beings, trapped. Their true purpose across multiple lifetimes has always been to save the children who were sacrificed, and every time they get close, the town turns on them. This also explains the town's name, Frumville. People get stuck from somewhere. But Jade and Tabitha, they're not stuck, they're returning.
Once they learn the truth about who you are, first they blame you, then they hate you.
Tabitha?
Tabitha, it's worse.
The vision culminates with Jade being led to a hidden basement door in Colony House. It opens into a hallway filled with spiders, and I mean filled. He pushes through to a cave, and there he finds it. The site where the children were sacrificed. It's a circle of 7 strategically placed stones in an open grave. That's not random. 7 stones, 7 children? Possibly. And the arrangement hints at a ritual, maybe tied to the faraway trees, maybe tied to the very fabric of Frumville itself. Jade is attacked by night creatures in the vision, dragged screaming into a coffin, but he wakes up back in the sheriff's station. Boy tells him he never left, it was all in his head. But here's the thing, it wasn't just in his head. Jade emerges with certainty. He understands how to save the children, and possibly how everyone can finally escape.
I know where they are. I know what we have to do to go home. I know how we can save the children.
Because while Jade offers hope, the episode immediately gives us a counterpoint. Marielle has one of the most disturbing encounters in the entire series. Man, that's saying something. She's alone in the ambulance. An unseen force handcuffs her to the wall. And then the radio turns on. But it's not music, it's not static, it's the sound of everyone who has ever died in the town screaming, in eternity suffering. This is nightmare fuel. The implication is horrifying. Death is not an escape. The voices are trapped, aware, and in agony forever. Later, Marielle accidentally bumps into Sophia, the town's newest arrival, and has another flash. And she comes to a grim conclusion. There's a dark, ancient entity feeding on their suffering, and even death won't free them. So while Jade is talking about saving the children and escaping, Marielle is telling us that failure might mean an eternity of screaming on a broken radio. That's the stakes now. Sophia continues to be terrifying in a quiet way. While her arm is being set, she pretends to be scared, but it's an act. She's toying with Marielle and Christy, sizing them up. She overhears Julie and Randall arguing about story walking. We don't see what comes of that yet, but Sophia is marking her second psychological victim. First Sarah, now Mary. She's trying to break everyone around her.
This place is fucking with your head because it knows how much you miss your dad. Well, then one of these days you're gonna have a seizure that doesn't stop.
I don't care. That is a risk I am willing to take.
We also check in on Fatima, still working on her mysterious golem. Kenny apologizes for not backing her up. That's a small moment, but it shows the fractures in the group, and Henry learns the grim truth about his wife's death. Kenny reveals that Victor's mother was consumed by the man in yellow, so that's another piece of the puzzle. The man in yellow isn't just a story, he's an active killer.
Hey, Victor, what was he talking about? The man in the yellow suit ate my mother.
So let's step back. Why does this episode matter? First, the show just told us the horror isn't a monolith. We have the nighttime creatures, the cicada curse, and now the scarecrow dolls. The dolls are insidious because they bypass the talismans. That suggests a different or higher order of evil exists in Frumville. Second, Jade's vision quest confirms reincarnation. He and Tabitha are tied to the town forever. Their true purpose, save the sacrificed children. That's why they keep coming back. Third, we finally saw the sacrifice location, the circle of 7 strategically placed stones in an open grave. That's a physical clue, a ritual site, possibly the heart of Fromville itself. And fourth, the hope versus despair dynamic. Jade believes he knows the way out. Marielle warns that even death is suffering. So the question becomes, can Jade break the cycle before the town kills him again? Or will the ancient entity feed on them all forever? Breakdown family, this episode was a game changer. Scarecrows that ignore talismans, Jade drinking beetle blood, a radio that plays the screams of the dead, and a circle of stones that might be the key to everything. But here's what's keeping me up at night. If the townspeople have murdered Jade in every single past life, how long before they turn on him again? And this time, will Tabitha be standing with him or against him? Drop your theories in the comments. What do you think Ankhui really means? And are the scarecrows connected to the man in yellow? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. This is Episode Breakdown. I'm Oliver, and remember, in Fromville, even your nightmares have nightmares. See you in the next one.